So the first place to start is to describe the product and the experience, provide a basic overview of the elements, touch on how it might tie to the company's mission. Obviously, that is going to be different based on which company you're interviewing with. Connect to something deep in the product or the experience. Like, why is it actually something important or meaningful? Get a little, soft here. Tap into something a bit deeper. And then you want to leave some kind of placeholder mission statement that you could use later. Okay, so this is not a nice to have. It's something that will actually play a role later. And you want to ideally do all that in a couple minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. Then you want to get into target audience. So here's where you're going to identify the key players in the ecosystem. Um, you are going to um, group them in the highest level possible as people that have incentives or skin in the game. You want to then divide the ecosystem groups into mutually exclusive subgroups that are really based on their primary motivations for caring about this thing. I will make a note here that the motivational groupings are probably more useful for this kind of question that we're talking through, like a product for gardening. It's a 0 to 1 brand new product. Um, if you're being asked to like make something better, like an existing product better, this might be a little bit less helpful. So, but you do often get asked these super open-ended questions. Then you are going to define segments based on heuristics like lifestyle, behavior, usage patterns, budgets. There's a bunch of things you can consider for thinking about how you might define your segments. You could certainly combine them with demographics, but I would not go just with demographics. That's going to be pretty shallow. And then you want to prioritize a segment by scoring. Ideally, what I like to use is something like reach and underserved degree. So reach being how big is the segment, and underserved degree is how poorly served is this segment relative to that mission statement that we defined before. And then you want to set some kind of persona. So give them a name, like paint a picture. Who is this person? What are they trying to do? Where do they live? Are they in a house? Are they in an apartment? Like bring them to life in a way. Okay. How much time do they have? Once we've defined that persona, we want to go to the next part of the interview, which is problem identification. Here, we're going to outline the key steps of the user journey that this person goes on, obviously in the context of this experience or this product, in our case, gardening. And we're going to identify the problems that they might encounter at different stages of that journey to, one, uh, make sure we're not missing anything big, but two, we want to be able to really identify unique problems. And if you get stuck on only one part of the journey and you try to come up with maybe 2 to 3 problems in just one part of the journey, it's going to be very hard for you to do something unique. So to show breadth in your creativity around identifying problems, it's better to really map out that journey and to kind of pick problems that span a few different moments in that journey. The other thing I'll say is that people needs are not problems. I need beautiful flowers is not a problem. Okay, so it's hard for me to find the flowers that will be beautiful in my apartment. That sounds like a problem. Okay, so those are different things. You will get dinged if you can't say like actual problem statements. And then you want to prioritize problems by scoring them on severity and frequency is my preference. So severity is when this problem occurs, how much does it hurt? And then frequency is how often does this problem come up for this persona in this user journey? Okay. You ideally pick the problem that has the highest weighted, severity and frequency, and then you get to solution development. In solution development, you want to really demonstrate creativity. So this is arguably the part of these interviews where you will be most expected to show off how creative your solution thinking are. If you're artsy, creative, this is like where you want to shine on that. Okay. So you do want to come up with different ways of solving the problem. And you could think of moonshots, like really big bets, but just so you know, they don't count more than practical solutions. So the key is just solving the problem at hand. And if you want to apply the latest technology, I do recommend doing that. I think it will, kind of make your solutions seem a little bit more novel, creative, relevant, timely. When you have your solutions, you're going to be expected to pick one. If you can only identify one solution, that's not going to show enough breadth. So you want to identify ideally at least 2 to 3 solutions. And then you want to pick one of them by talking about the impact and the effort of bringing a solution like that to life. If you have time, usually if you do have, like if you get through all of this in, let's say, 25 minutes, or 30 minutes. You probably have another 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes at the end. Um, Unlikely, but somewhere probably around 3 to 5 minutes if you do this well. You could describe some kind of minimum viable product or a V1 and outline some key risks that you might run into that you'd consider as you contemplate a rollout strategy.